I think, if you look 4 years ago, we made the decision to start, ahead of the competition in the transition to electric vehicles. We took a lot of hard decisions, and we weren't first to market.
Chevy just announced terrible news for Chevy Silverado owners. People are mad. You see, this iconic truck is getting an update, but lots of people, including loyal fans, don't feel like they are heard. They feel betrayed. This isn't an isolated issue to Chevy either. It's part of a larger trend sweeping across the entire automotive industry. This naturally leads to the million-dollar question. How is all of this going to impact you personally? And what are the specific problems brewing beneath the surface? What's happening? Well, let's break it down into 3 main parts like a puzzle, because there's a lot to unpack here. First off, Chevy is gearing up to introduce the all-new 2024 Chevy Silverado EV. This vehicle is set to be a fully electric powerhouse, promising to change the very definition of what a truck can do. Imagine this, a staggering 754 horsepower paired with an impressive range of 450 miles on a single charge. That's basically a non-stop road trip from Los Angeles to San Francisco, and you barely have to break a sweat. Sounds amazing, right? Well, on paper, it does look like a potential game changer for the future of the Silverado lineup. But what about the loyal owners of traditional gas-powered Silverados? Unfortunately, they are not exactly rolling out the welcome mat for this news. In fact, many are feeling quite left out in the cold. Chevy has been engaging in a tricky balancing act, trying to please the gas guzzler enthusiasts while simultaneously plunging into this new electric venture. It's a savvy strategy to line their pockets, but it could backfire spectacularly if they don't take charge of the quality control issues that have been plaguing their existing gas models. When you look at the bigger picture, this kind of move doesn't seem like a good idea, because the Silverado lineup clearly has some flaws when it comes to offering options. But before we get into that, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out. The Chevy appeal. This iconic truck has carved its name into the asphalt of American roads for years, becoming synonymous with rugged utility and dependable performance. And the thing is, fuel efficiency is hardly the most glamorous topic when chatting about trucks, but it's an important one. The Silverado has seen its fair share of ups and downs in this department. Back in the day, Chevrolet rolled out a hybrid version that squeezed out a remarkable 21 miles per gallon in the city and 22 miles per gallon on the highway. Not too shabby, right? But as time ticked on, Chevy decided to divert its attention. They became more comfortable with respectable, yet unremarkable numbers on their current gas-powered models. And oh boy, don't get me wrong, the base Silverado, equipped with a snazzy turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, can still manage to hit 19 miles per gallon in the city and 22 on the highway. However, when you place that figure side by side with what competitors like Ram and Ford are boasting, you might find yourself feeling a little let down. Take Ram for example. Their powerful Hemi V8 engine is scoring a jaw-dropping 23 miles per gallon on the highway, while Ford's impeccable Coyote 5.0-liter V8 delivers an impressive 18 in the city and 24 on the highway. Meanwhile, Chevy's struggling V8s only clock in at a paltry 16 or 17 miles per gallon in urban environments, with perhaps a measly 21 on open roads. That is a serious wake-up call. But Chevrolet isn't just sitting idle. The bigwigs over at General Motors are rolling up their sleeves to tackle this fuel economy conundrum. They've shared exciting news about the reintroduction of hybrid models, including plug-in hybrids for the Silverado and its sibling, the GMC Sierra. Their goal? To bridge the gap between those old-fashioned gas guzzlers and the shimmering frontier of fully electric vehicles. And if that wasn't enough to pique your interest, Chevy's keeping another ace up their sleeve: the diesel engine. Rumor has it that they've been knee-deep in development, cranking up the power and torque on that oil burner. This could give it a competitive edge over Ram's V6 diesel, even though Ram's diesel might still lead the pack a bit when it comes to highway performance. But let's be real, fuel economy isn't the only area that requires attention. Off-road capability and toughness are crucial too, especially for a truck that's built for adventure. For ages, it seemed as if Chevy was a tad shy about unleashing a true off-road beast. Sure, the Trail Boss had some nice improvements, but it fell short of becoming the adrenaline-pumping, thrill-seeking dream truck that many had hoped for. However, that perception began to shift dramatically with the introduction of the Silverado ZR2, and wow, this beast is is nothing short of impressive. With high-performance multimatic dampers, a beefed-up suspension system, and some seriously gnarly mud terrain tires, this truck feels like it can conquer just about anything. When you add in locking differentials and a 2-speed transfer case, you've got a formidable machine that means serious business when the terrain gets tough. But hold your horses for a moment. There's a little hitch in this off-road party. The ZR2 still boasts the same engine as the other Silverado models, which means under the hood lies a 6.2-liter V8. While it puts out a respectable 420 horsepower, it just doesn't quite measure up when comparing stats with the competition. It almost seems as if Chevrolet is keeping a lid on the potential, holding back when they really should let it all loose. Picture a Silverado ZR2 with more horsepower and torque. Can you imagine the kind of off-road monster that would be? Sign me up. But there's more to the Silverado story than just raw muscle and off-road prowess. Chevy has made commendable strides in enhancing the interior, a place where comfort and tech-infused opulence can make all the difference. They've taken great care to elevate the cabin experience with premium materials and state-of-the-art features. It's a big step up from those basic work trucks of generations past. Let's be honest. However, the reality is that the Silverado's cabin experience can feel like a mixed blessing. Let me explain. The good and the ugly. When this latest generation first hit the market, there were a few hiccups. In their eagerness to roll out the new design, it seems Chevy may have overlooked fully updating the interior. Even with their efforts to address earlier concerns, complaints continue to surface through the ranks. Now, this is the part where I acknowledge that many impressions about interiors can be quite subjective. Everyone has their own personal preferences, and that's fair enough. Instead of offering my own take, let's examine the cold, hard facts and allow you to draw your conclusions. The new Silverado's interior design is undeniably a step in the right direction, showcasing a fresh and modern aesthetic that leaves the previous cabin design in the dust. However, here's where it gets tricky. If you want the snazzy new look, you're likely going to have to shell out some serious cash for the higher-end trim levels. On the flip side, let's talk about that quality of materials used in these so-called upgraded interiors. When I decided to fork over a small fortune on a new truck, I expected nothing less than top-notch premium quality. But Chevy, they still seem to be cutting corners, and trust me, it shows when you square it off with the competition. Starting with the base models, those classic bench seats are a staple, while higher-end trims definitely bring in the cozy bucket seats. However, here lies a problem. The second row isn't exactly the most spacious or comfortable. If you pick the double cab model with the extended cab layout, you better believe your adult passengers will feel crammed tighter than a couple of clowns in a tiny car. Fortunately, the crew cab model swoops in to save the day with ample second row legroom. Now, you might think this is destined to be the ultimate family hauler. Well, not quite. Even with decent space, the rear seats aren't optimized for luxurious comfort during extended drives. They've got a noticeable lack of side support, and the overall seating position feels a tad awkward. It's similar to trying to sit comfortably on a park bench. You can manage, but it isn't exactly a dream ride. And just to add a cherry on top, the Silverado's rear suspension setup is more suited for a rough and tumble ride than for shock-absorbent smooth cruising. It can feel more akin to a bucking Bronco than a luxury sedan, leaving many scratching their heads at what Chevy was envisioning during the design process. But hey, let's shift gears and discuss ride quality next. When it comes to gliding over those pesky bumps and potholes on the highway, the Silverado exhibits a curious split personality. For starters, on the open road, it flows along like a ballerina. It absorbs all those little imperfections with grace, allowing you to sip your morning coffee without a moment of worry. But hang on, no truck has it all, not even the vaunted Silverado. When those larger swells and road craters come into play, the finesse tends to diminish. The Silverado feels a bit jolted, a tad unsettled, which is a bit disappointing. Just look at Ram's stellar entry with the 150 model, sporting its multi-link suspension. This beauty delivers an impressively smooth ride, creating waves of admiration in the truck world. Meanwhile, Chevy hangs tight to its classic leaf spring setup. Now, I don't want to throw shade. Leaf springs have been the reliable workhorses of the truck industry for generations. They've carried heavy loads without breaking a sweat. But let's face reality, they can bounce a bit, especially when the truck bed is empty, turning your driving experience into a roller coaster. And it's not just the Silverado that's wrestling with the quirks of leaf spring setups. The Ford F-Honda 50 is in the same boat as well. However, somehow Ford has managed to iron out those road bumps just a tad better than Chevy. What's their secret? Some mysterious suspension wizardry. But we don't have time to talk about that, so let's talk about the second part of the puzzle, tangled mess. To kick things off, let's talk about those frustrating transmission issues. This thing looks like it's doing a clumsy dance move every time you shift gears. It's almost as if the truck has two left feet, uncertain about which direction to take. The silver lining here, a quick visit to the mechanic armed with an OBD2 scanner can usually help diagnose those pesky transmission quirks before they really get out of hand. But wait, there's more than just transmission woes. What about those annoying fluid leaks? Yes, I'm talking about the Silverado exhibiting a slow and steady drip from the front right around the torquey converter area. It's reminiscent of a leaky faucet that just won't stop dripping. Before you know it, you might find yourself stranded on the side of the road, scratching your head and wondering where all that precious transmission fluid just vanished. Not ideal, right? And if you think that's where the issues end, think again. The infotainment system can also throw a little electronic tantrum from time to time. You could be rocking out to your favorite jams, and suddenly the touchscreen starts glitching. Total mood killer. While this isn't exactly a catastrophic mechanical failure, the frustrations from these infotainment gremlins can surely put a damper on an otherwise enjoyable drive. Now let's shift gears and discuss paint quality. Imagine this. You've just brought home a shiny, brand new 2022 Silverado, yet within no time you notice paint chips beginning to form. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, this truck also seems to have developed a ravenous appetite for oil. It's like the Silverado has an unquenchable thirst, so it's crucial to check those oil levels religiously. Otherwise, you might find yourself deep in engine trouble before you know it. Next up, let's have a chat about the peculiarities of the 2024 models, particularly with their suspension systems. The Silverado, along with competitors like the Tundra and the Ford F-150, present their own unique driving sensations, making you feel as if you're sitting on a mechanical bull. Many drivers report that the experience can fluctuate wildly. Sometimes the ride feels solid and controlled. Other times, it seems loose and unstable. And if every little bump feels exaggerated, that's a sign your suspension system might need some TLC. For instance, the 2024 Chevrolet Silverado boasts a complex suspension system that comes with options like an adaptive air suspension. This feature can provide a smooth ride and adjustable height, but be aware, it can lead to issues like uneven weight distribution or responsiveness problems, especially in colder weather. Some owners have even noted that if the air suspension fails, it can result in a bumpy, uncomfortable ride and possibly require hefty repairs. Regular maintenance checks? Absolutely essential to avoid feeling like you're careening across a rugged landscape. But hang on, the Silverado's complications don't just end with hardware problems. It also has its fair share of internal and software-related glitches. Given how stuffed it is with high-tech features these days, it's not exactly surprising. Much like those other high-end SUVs and crossovers, the Silverado is loaded with some serious technology goodies. Now, don't misunderstand me. Most modern pickups are equipped with a plethora of bells and whistles. But with the Silverado, there are some features that might catch you off guard. Let's take a deeper look at both the good and the not so good aspects of this truck's high-tech offerings. It's bound to be quite the journey. First, let's delve into the exciting high-tech features of the Chevy Silverado, specifically focusing on the adaptive cruise control system. You might be thinking, adaptive cruise control? That's so last year. But wait just a second here, because what we have is not your grandpa's traditional cruise control. This is cutting-edge technology at its finest. Having this system in your truck is a bit like having your own personal chauffeur, but with a quirky twist, shall we say. Generally, the system does a pretty decent job of maintaining a safe distance from the vehicle ahead of you. However, every so often it has a little hiccup, and let me tell you, when those hiccups occur, they're enough to set your pulse racing. Picture this: you're cruising along in stop-and-go traffic, completely in the zone, and then suddenly your truck lunges forward as if it has a mind of its own. Talk about a shocking wake-up call. And the real kicker here? You can't just sit back and relax when this happens. Nope, you need to be alert and pay close attention, ensuring the vehicle doesn't decide to perform any more unpredictable stunts. Remember, when I said it's like having a high-maintenance chauffeur, well, it is one that keeps you on your toes at all times, always on alert. Chevy has attempted to fix these hiccups, providing the option of the Super Cruise system for those looking to elevate their hands-off driving experience. But here's the thing, all this advanced technology comes with a price. You may need to reach deep into your pockets for these high-tech features, but if you're a tech enthusiast who loves being at the forefront of automotive advancements and don't mind splurging a bit, then perhaps the Silverado is indeed the truck for you. So here's a thought to ponder. How much of a financial stretch is truly worth it? After all, none of us want to feel like we're just throwing our hard-earned cash into the wind, right? Which brings me to the second part of the puzzle, where it all fits together to make the bigger picture. What does your money get you? Now, let's peel back the layers of that investment with a closer look at price versus value. When it comes to the Chevy Silverado, it's like navigating through a beautifully intricate onion. There's just so much to digest. This truck is undeniably a classic, synonymous with rugged reliability and blending power with performance seamlessly. But don't let that fool you. It also has a bit of a complicated history. Let's kick things off with reliability. According to the industry experts at J.D. Power, the 2024 Silverado has earned a reliability score of 80 out of 100. What about Repair Pal? They've rated it a decent 3.5 out of 5, placing it in the top 5 of 17 full-size trucks. Not too shabby at all. However, it's important to keep in mind that this isn't exactly earth-shattering reliability either. The Silverado faces some tough competition for reliability. For instance, consider the Toyota Tundra. While it may not be the flashiest truck on the market, its straightforward design is built for serious long-term durability. The Tundra has definitely upped its game recently, offering a smoother ride, advanced features, and engines that can pack a punch. And let's not forget about the Ford F-150, the gold standard in pickup reliability, boasting sturdy engines, innovative technology, and solid construction. But we can't overlook the long-term value of these trucks. The entire cost of ownership aspect, fuel efficiency, maintenance expenses, resale value, they all come into play, and often they don't paint the rosiest picture for the Silverado. Remember those annoying recalls, power steering, brake issues, and transmission problems? This truck has dealt with them all. As a current or potential owner, it's crucial to do your homework. Dive into those recall histories to uncover any lingering issues. Safety and peace of mind should be your top priorities. Yet, if you're still under the impression that the Silverado is the truck for you, good news. Chevy offers an extensive range of trims tailored to suit every customer's needs. From the no-frills workhorse known as the work truck to the stylish, sports car-inspired RST, there's a Silverado out there for everyone. So now we must ask ourselves, how does the Silverado measure up against its competition? Ultimately, it's about determining which vehicle rises to the top of the market. Remember, this truck is not just a mode of transportation, it's an investment. With the Silverado, consider all the pros and cons, do the math thoroughly, and decide if it's worth the investment. So let's take a deeper look at how it compares with one of its most prominent competitors, Chevy versus Ford F-150. This truck is a powerhouse, a true beast that commands attention and respect wherever it goes. The Ford F-150 is known for its versatility, muscular performance, and cutting-edge technology features. It's not just another truck, it's the complete package, ready to tackle whatever comes your way. Let's dive into the engine lineup for the 2024 F-150. It boasts 6 different engines, each designed to deliver impressive power and efficiency. If you're after a punchy 2.7-liter V6 or a hybrid with 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque, the F-150 has got you covered. You won't have to sacrifice power for efficiency with these options. Starting with the base engine, the 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 delivers 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, making it an excellent choice. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 steps up the game with 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet. For fans of the classic V8 Rumble, the 5.0-liter engine offers 400 horsepower and 410 pound-feet, ensuring an exhilarating experience. However, the real showstopper is the 3.5-liter PowerBoost hybrid engine, cranking out 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque. This hybrid not only provides serious power, but also achieves up to 25 miles per gallon in the city and 26 on the highway. When it comes to capability, this truck impresses with a towing capacity of 13,500 pounds and a payload capacity of 3,310 pounds. Furthermore, the F-150 is equipped with a 12-inch touchscreen infotainment system and available driver assistance features like adaptive cruise control. If you need a tough, smart truck, the Ford F-150 should definitely be at the top of your list. The Toyota Tundra. When you think of the Toyota Tundra, durability, reliability, and off-road prowess come to mind. This beast of a truck is practically synonymous with those attributes. It's like the Chuck Norris of the truck world. Strong, dependable, and ready for action. Let's break down exactly what makes it so impressive and capable. First off, let's talk about the engine options available. You're going to love the choices that really get your adrenaline pumping. First up is the iForce Twin Turbo V6, cranking out a robust 348 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. But if you're someone who wants to really kick things up a notch, you have to check out the iForce Max hybrid engine. This incredible machine combines that twin turbo V6 with an electric motor to produce a jaw-dropping 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. The bonus? The hybrid setup doesn't just enhance performance, it also delivers up to 46 miles per gallon combined. That's the perfect blend of power and efficiency that everyone dreams of. But the Tundra doesn't stop at raw power. It's built like an absolute tank. With a maximum towing capacity of up to 12,000 pounds, this truck can haul whatever you need, from boats and trailers to heavy equipment without breaking a sweat. The flexible cab and bed configurations allow you to select the perfect setup for your lifestyle. Whether you're opting for the spacious Crewmax or the more compact double cab, you'll find an option that suits your needs perfectly. Inside, the Tundra is loaded with all the modern comforts and tech you'd expect from a top-tier truck. We're talking leather-trimmed seats, heated and ventilated options, and an enormous touchscreen infotainment system that makes staying connected a breeze. Yet it's not just about comfort. This truck boasts serious safety technology with features like adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and a panoramic view monitor to help you keep an eye on everything when you're towing. Let's not overlook the Tundra's off-road capability. If you opt for the available TRD Pro package, you're getting upgraded suspension, skid plates, and beefy all-terrain tires designed to tackle even the most treacherous terrain. Plus, there's the crawl control system, which automatically adjusts the throttle and brakes to help you navigate tricky off-road obstacles with ease. Now I can hear you thinking, it sounds fantastic, but are there any downsides? Well, we're being fair here. And yes, even the mightiest trucks have their own sets of pros and cons to consider. While the Toyota Tundra is indeed renowned for its ruggedness, reliability, and off-road capabilities, there are a few potential drawbacks worth mentioning. For instance, its fuel efficiency might not perfectly compete with some of the full-size truck rivals on the market. Also, while its design and features are undeniably tough and utilitarian, they can sometimes come across as a bit less refined compared to other more polished options available. As a result, the Tundra may not stretch quite as far when it comes to the latest cutting-edge technology and advanced driver assistance features that the newest Ford F-150 models are now offering. On the flip side, the Ford F-150 has a fantastic reputation for capability and versatility, but it's worth noting that it's not without its own set of potential concerns. There have been some reports of occasional quality control issues and reliability worries cropping up in certain model years. When it comes to fuel economy, the F-150 faces stiff competition, and while its towing and hauling specs are commendable, they may not quite reach the best-in-class figures that certain rival trucks boast. Also, we can't forget about the price. Those higher-end trims can put a serious dent in the budget. So as you weigh your options, make sure to consider everything that matters most to you. But before you finalize your decision, there's one more exceptional truck to think about: the brand new Caterpillar pickup. It's so unique and impressive that we've dedicated a special video just for it. Trust me, you'll want to check it out. You won't be disappointed.